Hey guys, Sean Terry here, Flip2Freedom.com. What's up, Instagram? I want to talk about today the $100,000 a month wholesaling system. $100,000 a month wholesaling system. So is it possible to do $100,000 a month, have a system around it, and be able to not work 24/7? So the question is, how do you go from a one-man show? How do you go from doing everything yourself? How do you go from taking all the phone calls, talking to all the sellers, managing all the appointments, managing all the marketing? How do you do that and literally transform from doing everything yourself to basically being able to have a team of people that's working incredibly together? No, I'm not going to check out your page for Steel there, pal. So the bottom line is this, is that how do you build a $100,000 a month system? How do you go from a one-man show to a business, to a team where you can go and do a ton of transactions and go out and crush it? So here's the deal. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. This is what we're going to talk about on this Instagram Live. I'm out here in San Diego, California. It's absolutely beautiful out here today at the Find and Flip Summit. Last day, about to fly out here in a couple hours. I thought I'd come to you because a lot of the questions from some of the higher level people were, how do I build a $100,000 a month system? How do I do it? And it's a lot of unknown. I was just talking to this guy, his name's Lawrence, out of Tampa, Florida. And he, good guy, had a great lunch with him. But the issue was with him is he's doing everything himself. He's he has a small little team, but he's not doing, he's not able to scale it or understand how to scale it to the next level. First off, we have to expand our thinking of what we want to accomplish. First off, we got to realize that yes, $100,000 a month wholesaling is absolutely possible. $200,000 a month is possible. $500,000 a month is possible wholesaling houses. You just have to have the right team in place, the right marketing structure to make it happen. So let's break it down. Let's break it down for what an actual $100,000 a month wholesaling system looks like. First off, what happened for me was back in 2009, 2010, after the market crashed, I had to sit down and literally start from scratch, and I started mailing letters to basically pre-foreclosures. I handwrote letters from my kitchen table to pre-foreclosures. And what happened from there is I started to reinvest 15% back into marketing. And as I reinvested 15% in the marketing, I got more leads coming in, I got more deals coming in. And then I found out that I was working literally 7 days a week. I was answering all the calls, I was talking to all the sellers, I was booking all the appointments, I was talking to all the sellers in the appointments. I'd get the properties under contract, I'd open up escrow, and then after I'd open up escrow, I'd turn around and I'd have to sell the properties quickly. I'd have to take all the inbound calls from all the buyers, I'd have to go show the houses to all the buyers, and then I'd have to get their contract, send it over to escrow, and then turn around and close the transaction. Well, guess what? I was doing everything in the business. Everything that needed to be done relied on me in the business. I didn't have a team of people. I didn't have anybody to rely on. And when I hired my first person, I literally had her sit. Her name was Nancy. She was about 58, almost 60 years old. I had her sit in the corner and I had her scrub lists, right? I had her scrub lists. I didn't know what to have her do. So you guys are joining right now. We're talking about how to build a $100,000 a month wholesaling system and what type of system you need to put in place. And it starts with understanding what we're building first, number one, and number two, how to scale it from taking your revenue and reinvesting 25% back into marketing. So the bottom line is, first off, we have to have a vision of what we want to accomplish. We got to figure out what we stand for, where are we going, what do we want to accomplish, and why. And then and then after you have that and you understand the vision, see, our vision in Phoenix is we want to dominate. We want to be the number one wholesaler in all of Phoenix, Arizona. Our goal is to absolutely crush it. We want to do and offer a better service. We want to offer a faster service, and we want to offer a more ethical service than anybody else in the marketplace, right? So that's our vision. That's where we're going, and that's where our mission is to make happen, number one. Number two is after you have a vision, so there's several steps involved to make it happen. And listen, this didn't come from me. I didn't invent it. I don't want to take credit for these systems in place. I actually read the book Traction by Gino Winkman. Now, if you haven't read that book, I highly, highly recommend the book Traction by Gino Winkman. So I read that book probably back in 2014 or 13 per se, and my business had no structure. I would walk into my office and I had a lead manager that was a quasi-lead manager, and I had an acquisition guy that was a quasi-acquisition guy. I'd walk into my office and I'd have no idea what was going on. It'd be Monday, right? Traction's amazing. It'd be Monday. I'd walk in the office. As I walk in and ask the lead manager, say, so how's the marketing going? How's the deals going? How's the calls going? You know what they'd say? They go, yeah, they're going good. Yeah, we got some good calls coming in, and everything's working. And then I go in my other office and I go ask my acquisition guy, and they'd say, hey, listen, how's the deal? We getting any deals this week? Anything going on this week? And he goes, yeah, I'm working on a couple deals. And I go back into my office and I go, what the heck's going on? I had no idea. I had no clarity. I had no idea of revenue coming in. I didn't know what future revenue was coming in. I was crossing my fingers, spending a ton of money on marketing, hoping that I could have, hoping it would work. And if we ended up at the end of the month where I could make more money than I spent, I'd be crossing my fingers. I'd be happy. The thing is that I had no business structure whatsoever. So obviously I was searching, I was looking, and next thing you know, I come across the book Traction. So I read the book Traction, and Traction has specific steps that you can implement to go out and build a systematic business and have it grow. So here's the steps, and I'm going to break down the steps for you, so then you can apply it in your business. So first off, you have to have a vision, and the vision has to be big enough than just making money, right? It can't be, I'm just going to go make a bunch of money. So our vision, right, is to go out and crush it, dominate, go out and be the most ethical, integrous company wholesaling company out there in Phoenix, Arizona, do more deals than anybody else, but also provide a service for these sellers and a concierge service for these sellers better than anybody else, right? So that's number one. So once you have a vision in place, you know where you're going, right? You got to have, basically vision statement of what you want to accomplish, so everybody knows what's happening on your team, what your goal is, what your vision is. And then you have to have, essentially what you stand for, right? And we stand for integrity, right? I want to do the right thing at all times. It's interesting. I had a wholesaler. I got a property under contract. Our team got a property under contract. Brandon knows, he was with us. Got a property under contract, and we're set to close. We were like, a day or two away from closing. Got a call from another buyer, and it was about a $17,000 deal, right? So I got a call from another buyer, and the buyer said that he said he had the property under contract before us. I said, okay, let me check into it. Obviously, I'm gonna trust and verify, right? So I called the seller and I said, hey, listen, I just got a call from so-and-so, this other wholesaler, and he said he's under contract with you. Do you know who he is? Are you under contract? And the guy completely denied it. He said, absolutely not. I don't know the guy. I don't know what he's talking about. I said, okay. I said, that's fine. I said, so I hung up. I called the other wholesaler back and I said, he's completely denying it. And he goes, get him on the phone. So we got this other wholesaler on the phone. I mean, I was on the other phone with the other wholesaler, and I brought in the seller. So the seller gets on the line, and I said, hey, this is Sean, and this is, our other wholesaler here. And he says he has it under contract. You just told me 5 minutes ago that you don't know who he is, and he says he's under contract. Now, the seller completely changed his tune. He completely changed his tune. He flip-flopped, and he goes, oh, yeah, I know who he is. Oh, yeah, I did sign a contract. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be closing. So the seller essentially sold the house to two different people, right? This guy had it under contract before we did. So let me ask you a question. What's the right thing to do, right? Most wholesalers, right, would just say, you know what, screw you, we're closing, good luck, right? What we did, we canceled our contract. $17,000 deal is supposed to close in 2 days. We canceled our contract, told the buyer that guess what? The seller sold the property twice, and he sold it to someone else before he sold it to us. And you know what? I'm sorry, but we have to cancel the contract. So that's the right thing to do. So we basically, that $17,000 deal went to him. But again, that's integrous, and that's the right thing to do. And guess what? I've never had any problem with anybody in the Arizona market. I've been doing it for 15 years, and we do stuff straight up, right? So number one, we do things by integrity, and that's what we stand for in our business, right? Number two is after you have a vision statement and a mission of what your goal is to accomplish, number one. Number two is you have to have what's called an organizational chart. And this is a chart of your organization. This is the blueprint of your business. This is what you're going to build. Like, if you're gonna build a house, you have to have a blueprint, right? Before you have the foundation, before you have anything in, you have to have the statement. I mean, you have to have that. And when you do that, right, when you have your blueprint, you can follow it step by step. So your blueprint for your wholesaling business is called an organizational chart. This organizational chart is all the team members on your team. So let's talk about the team members. First one is you have a lead manager. That's your first hire, right? A lead manager, first hire. Now, on the organizational chart, you're going to have what their roles and responsibilities are, what they have to do, their roles and responsibilities. Now, lead managers' primary roles and responsibilities are answering the phone, managing the database, managing the leads, outbound calls, the leads. They do the compliance calls, and what they're going to do is they're going to book appointments. So their mission is to book appointments for the outside sales guys, right? That's what the lead manager does. Now, they're going to report on numbers every single month. When should you hire a lead manager? A lead manager should be hired, right, as your first hire. And when you're consistently doing over $150,000 to $200,000 a year in revenue by yourself, doing everything yourself, then you can take on a lead manager. Otherwise, don't hire a lead manager. You want to prove consistency prior to hiring a lead manager, because you're going to take someone else's life on. And what do you pay them? You pay them $20 an hour plus $100 per deal closed, right? For a good lead manager. You can even start them out at like $17.50 an hour. So anyway, so you got a lead manager. They're going to report on specific numbers. Their numbers is how many appointments did they actually book a week, and so you have that number. They report on that number every single month. So that is so what happened to that deal. That guy closed on it, and we walked away from $17,000 because again, that was the right thing to do. How do you get the seller to sign the contract? Well, that's another whole. I've got a ton of stuff. Actually, go back to my Instagram posts here, and I have about 9 different posts on what's called the 9-step seller conversion sequence. There's a 9-step sequence that I teach. You can go back and look at my Instagram posts, and you can check them all out in 9-step seller conversion sequence. Do lead managers cold call? No, they are solely there to manage the database. They're solely there to follow up with our sellers. Their goal is to book appointments. They don't have 2 different responsibilities. The biggest problem is people in business, when they get started, they've got 2 or 3 different businesses that they do, right? 2 or 3 different, and they have the seller. I mean, their people do 2 or 3 different things, right? If you can't have them do 2 or 3 different things. All right, so now you have your lead manager. They're going to report on certain numbers every single month, and they're going to, not every single month, every single week. They're going to report on numbers, and I have a weekly meeting, which we'll talk about here in a second, and that's when they report their numbers. So after now you have a lead manager, then you're going to hire dispositions. That's the guy that's going to sell the properties, right? He's going to go out now and sell those properties for cash. He's going to deal with all the cash buyers. He's going to do all the marketing. He's going to put out the bandit signs. He's going to put out any postcards if you do it. He's going to do the email blasts. He's going to put the property on Facebook. He's going to do whatever it takes to get that property sold. He's going to take the inbound calls from the buyers, and he's going to turn around and get that property sold. Bam. So he's going to do that, and he's going to do that fast, right? He's gonna get that done. So his job is to do that. So he is gonna report on revenue, right? What did we close last week? What do we got closing this coming week, right? Where did the lead sources come from? How did they close the deals? And they're gonna get that deal done. So they're going to report on those numbers. So when you walk in and I have our Monday morning meeting, I know exactly how much revenue we closed for the past week and how much revenue we're going to close for the current week. So guess what? I can determine my marketing budgets and figure out what's happening, where the money's going to be spent going forward. And I have 100% clarity in my business on Monday through my disposition that's reporting on all the revenue that's coming in, what's closing, and what deals we're working on to get done. And I have my lead manager reporting on all the appointments we're made for the week, right? So those are 2 hires that you hire. You hire that one second. The next hire is going to be an acquisitions. Now you want to hire acquisitions last because that's where income comes in. Now I'm not saying you replace yourself immediately. You want to hire a lead manager, an acquisitions guy. And that acquisition guy, you're going to work with them very, very close. You're going to work with them very, very close on that understanding the process of converting deals, right? Per month, tens of thousands of dollars, close to 50 grand a month on marketing for that. So anyway, so the bottom line is that you have to have the acquisition guy. He's got to know what he's doing. You just don't want to turn over your source of income to a brand new acquisition guy. You don't want to turn that over to him. You want to be able to still control that. You want to go on all the super hot deals. You want to get those under contract to keep your revenue coming in. But your acquisition guy, you want to work fairly closely with him to make sure he understands how to comp properties, how to make offers, how to get deals done, and be able to go out and crush it. So your acquisition guy, you want to work with them for about 60 days. It takes 60 days for them to really get their numbers down so they're confident on making their offers, and they got to be able to hustle. CRM, currently we use Podio. Right now is what we use for a CRM. So now that you have, now think about it, you have a lead manager. So an acquisition manager is someone, yes, they're going to go on appointments and they're going to get contracts. Now that's where revenue comes in. So you just can't leave that to an acquisitions, right? Because if they bomb, your whole entire company bombs because your revenue source is coming in directly from your acquisition. They're the ones that are signing contracts. So you don't want to leave it to them. You want to be the one that's going out and getting contracts. All the the high probability, the ones that are the low-hanging fruit, you want to go get those and let your sales guys cut their teeth on the ones that are the investor fees. No, we don't use investor fees. So the bottom line is, so now you have, think about it, you have a lead manager, now you have an acquisition guy, you have a disposition guy, and you have you. Now the only other component is you need a guy that's going to do marketing, someone that can do marketing and handle all the marketing, pulling all the lists, managing your RVM, managing your cold calling team, pulling the list for that, managing your Google AdWords, managing your direct mail. So it creates a consistency in your business that's done every month, right? So that's your last hire, because you want to be able to have your hands completely in the marketing side of it 100%. So I spend most of my time in my business on marketing, right? I want to spend my time on marketing, looking for new marketing channels, ways to get a lower cost per lead. And I go on appointments. You guys on Instagram, you guys follow me. I take you on appointments. With me to go meet sellers. Now, if you also see me, you'll see we have our Monday morning meeting every morning. And what we do is, we put everybody around and we report on all of our numbers in the business. Acquisitions, they're going to report on the amount of appointments they went on and how many contracts they actually secured, right? And they better, if they go on 20 appointments a week, you're going to have cancellations. Maybe they go on 17. They better be bringing back anywhere from 2 to 3 contracts a week. Every single week they better be bringing back. And if they're not, we're going to have an issue. And instead of reporting weekly, they're going to start having to report daily. And if they can't get contracts, then they're going to have to start report after every single appointment they go on. Why? Until we fix the problem, or you know what? I got to find somebody else. That's the bottom line. What time is your meeting? Can you go live? No, I'm not going live in our meetings because we talk a lot about different stuff, and that's my other whole business. So I'll take pictures of it, but I'm not gonna go live. We cover a lot of different stuff. Maybe I'll think about it. Anyway, so the bottom line is, so that's your system. You got your lead manager, you got your acquisition, you got your disposition, you got your marketing person. So that's your entire team. It should take you no more than 12 to 14 months to be able to build out that system so it crushes, right? 12 to 14 months. You're spending about anywhere from 60 to 90 days with each individual person to make sure they're completely locked in. You might hire wrong, right? That's okay. And we have a hiring system. You know, we bring people on through the hiring process. You may get 500 applications that come in. We put them through a survey that asks specific questions, and then we have them submit a video. So you take 500 applications and you might get 10 videos. You might get 5 videos from potential prospects, and those 5 videos, right? You'll know if they are good. I've had people, I have people come back. They want a lead manager position. They want an acquisition position. They go through the survey, and then they come back and they reply and say, listen, well, how do you send a video? Well, listen, if the guy can't figure out how to send a video in this day and age, I don't want him, right? I don't want them. If they can't Google and figure out how to send a video when you got video on a phone like this, that's not a non-resourceful person, and I don't want them working with me, right? So, yeah. So we have them go through this funnel. Now, we sit around and then we watch all the videos and we go, yeah, that person's crazy. This person, there's no way. Yeah, this person. And then we interview the ones that have potential. Okay, so now now we have our team, right? And now they're going to report on what's called a scorecard. The scorecard is all the numbers that they're going to report on every single week. Now they're going to report on those numbers. And now you can analyze those numbers and you can figure out, well, guess what? If our lead to appointment ratio is low, if it's not 70% or more, guess what? We have a problem. We got to change something in our process so we can get higher lead to appointment conversion. If our appointment to contract is low, there might be an issue. You know what the issue is? It's probably the sales guys not making written offers and not making offers to sellers. So we track how many offers did they make, how many appointments did they go on, how many offers did they make, how many contracts did they get. And by the way, an offer is not a verbal offer. We don't give verbal offers. We give written offers. Those written offers, guess what? They'll turn into contracts. They're going to turn into contracts, right? That's the precursor to an actual signed contract, is you got to give a written contract. And it's ridiculous. People don't, I don't know. How do you, they gave a verbal offer and they're like, why am I not getting deals, right? Because they got a verbal offer. What's up, Johnny Sanchez? So $100K a month wholesaling system, that's the team in place. They're going to have a scorecard to report on. Now comes the traction with meetings. Now you have a team. Now you're having these meetings every single Monday. We have our meeting at 10 a.m. and it goes to 11:30. Starts on time, ends on time. And in those meetings, we're going through every detail line item of the scorecard. Number one, we're going through that. And what we're doing after that is then we're going through all of the deals that came in for the week. We're analyzing and figuring out, making sure we can sell them for the highest price possible. What you lead to contract ratio is about 70 to 80%. I want about like 80% on leads to contract ratio. That's where you should be sitting. I've seen some scorecards where they're like 40, 50%. And what happens is the lead managers are qualifying the sellers and they're qualifying out deals. That's what they're doing. All right, so now that you have that, you're gonna have meetings every single month. Every single week. And those tractions, now what's the main premise of the meeting? The main premise of the meeting is to report. You keep everybody accountable, number one. Number two, you want to know exactly where you stand in your business, right? Number two, where the revenue coming in, marketing budgets. You want to know everything that's going profitability week over week, right? And number two is to solve problems. is to solve problems. So what happens is you'll find that there's issues and there's problems and there's system problems. And what happens is all the products I've ever made, all the products I ever sell, everything I've ever learned is by solving problems in those meetings. That's how we came up with the compliance call. That's how we came up with the 9-step seller conversion sequence, so I could teach and onboard my acquisitions. That's how we came up with the submission checklist for our acquisitions to dispositions. That was a huge thing of trying to pass the baton, right? So although we're solving all these problems in those meetings, you know what? I came up with the seller's code. Is the 16 deal structures when it comes to seller financing. Guess what? I created that course to solve a problem because my guys needed to know how to convert deals. Well, they didn't know how to convert deals. They didn't know how to structure deals, so I created a course on it. I put them through it and it showed them how to go out and structure deals. Right? And then it worked and it great and it crushed, and I turned around and offered it to you guys, right? So you get it. Now, 100K wholesaler, I did the exact same thing. I put this entire thing in a system called the 100K wholesaler, and it crushes. It's been responsible for more successful people in the wholesaling niche to build a $100,000 a month. I give you the scorecard. I give you the organizational chart. I give you and show you how to build the vision. I show you exactly the meeting structure and how that exactly works. So in the meetings, now you do a meeting, right? You do a meeting on a weekly basis, then you do a monthly meeting, then you do a quarterly meeting, then you do an annual meeting. And in those meetings, all you're doing is analyzing your numbers, and you're determining, where to make tweaks and where to make the processes in the systems better, so you can go out and crush it even harder. Right? There's going to be problems that's going to come up. There's going to be issues that's going to come up. There's going to be employee issues that kind of come up, and you're going to have to fire some people, and that's the way it is. You're going to have to hire some more people. That's the way it is. And you're going to have to solve problems, but that's what we do as business owners, and that's your highest and best use as a business owner when you're going out and you're structuring and doing deals. So that's the 100K a month wholesaler system. That's all that's involved to make it happen. And you can build it and literally turn a hobby of you going out and getting a handful of deals and making $100,000 a year flipping houses and turn it into a multi-million dollar business where you're going out now and you're crushing. Right? Because you have the vision, you have the organizational chart, you have the blueprint, you have the team you're going to build, you have the scorecard that's going to report, you know how to hire, right? And you know how to manage your entire team through meetings, and you know how to gain traction to take it to the next level. Where's the 9-step seller conversion sequence? That's, again, it's another product I teach it, but I also went in detail on it on my posts on Instagram. If you go in on my posts and kind of look through, I actually did a post for each 9-step conversion and kind of explain the process and exactly how that works. So hope this helps. I want you to know you can do it. You can have a big vision. You can go out there and crush it. You just need to have a blueprint and lay it out. And once you have it all laid out, then you can build it. Right? There is, like I said, I met this guy, Lawrence, man. He's been doing this for 16 years and he's still doing everything himself. And he's got a haphazard couple employees that are kind of lost. They don't know what they're doing, and they really have no direction. And they don't have anything they're reporting on. They have no numbers in their business. They have no systems in their business, And he's doing well. He's making $600,000 a year, but he could be doing $6 million a year, right? In an incredible market. And the problem is he had no business structure and know how to do it. Now he gets it, and now he's going to go crush it. Yeah, he's going to go absolutely crush it and take it to the next level and realize the freedom you can have. See, I'm over here in San Diego. Look at the water's just crashing in right now. I'm over here in San Diego. This past week, I got guys that are going out crushing it. They're selling properties. Leads are coming in. The phone's being answered. Appointments are being made. People are going on appointments. Contracts are being got. Deals are being sold. And it's crushing, right? And I'm sitting here over in the weekend. It's an amazing thing to have a business and understanding how leverage works. You can either automate. People say, I want an automated system. I want to have automate. You can either automate through software, right? And there's no software that can help you build a $100,000 a month business. I know because I've seen it, and otherwise I would have invented it myself. You either can automate by software or you can automate by people, or you can do both, right? You can do both, and that will create leverage. And leverage means that you have a team of people that's producing more, right? That's the Hilton San Diego, yep. You have a team of people that's producing more than just you yourself can do, right? So that's what we're talking about, the 100K a month wholesaling system. Hope you guys like this. I'm gonna sign off because I gotta run back upstairs. I'll talk again. God bless.